Hello, hello. Just getting myself set up here. All right, so let's get started. Forgive my hair. I guess I'm going to put it back in a ponytail on my video. That's okay. So we have the solar eclipse happening. Big energies. I'm going to get into that in just 1 second here when I finish my ponytail. I'm not going to wait for anybody to hop on. If you need it, you can press the replay because I have quite a time limit today. So, since the blood moon eclipse on the 26th that we did a video on, we have been walking a portal between the old and the new, between one state of consciousness and the next. This portal finally comes to an end on June 10th with the arrival of our new moon eclipse now. So this new moon solar eclipse represents a new beginning. Whatever path has been cleared for us by the blood moon, we can now begin to see where we are heading. So the cloud kind of lifts off of us here. No matter where we currently stand, this solar new moon eclipse in Gemini will ensure that we are headed in the right direction. It signals a time to embrace the new. So this is really, really exciting because when you were feeling like there was a fog and it was time to go internal with this, with the lunar eclipse, now we have the solar eclipse, and it doesn't matter where we are. It's heading in the right direction. This is quite the energy. So trust in whatever has been moving and shaking for you. Know that whatever needs to fall away will fall. Excuse me, and whatever needs to stay will stay. That is the nature and power of eclipses. So super powerful energy right now. Some of you I know are going through some really serious things. I just want to get her tagged in here because I think that this will help her. 1 sec. Make sure that's not super loud. Okay. Lots of tension, eh? I got all kinds of tension in my body right now. 20, can you tag Di Maria? All right, so trust in whatever has been moving and shaking for you. Know that whatever needs to fall away will fall, and whatever needs to stay will stay. That is the nature of and power of eclipses. So this new moon solar eclipse falls in the sign of Gemini at 19 degrees. It is an annular eclipse, which means the shadow of the earth will move into the middle of the sun, creating a ring of fire. Super cool. I thought that was really exciting when I was putting this together. Gemini is represented by the twins, one twin being mortal and the other immortal. Thank you, Twinny. These two twins represent the duality we face on Earth. We are humans, limited by our physical bodies and in need of material comforts, but we are also limitless souls on an endless journey of growth. So there's such a balance, there's such a energy flow in between Gemini. If you have Gemini rising, Gemini moon, any of that, you'll kind of already understand the energy. I know Sherry is very Gemini, so she encompasses this. On a human level, we can find ourselves labeling things or events as good or bad. But on a soul level, we understand the bigger picture and know that all experiences serve their purpose. So, understanding, not making excuses for everything, but understanding when something feels bad, it's not always bad. Sometimes the universe is aligning us for something much, much better. And at the time, it hurts, it doesn't feel good, there's resistance. But in this resistance and moving through this fear is such huge growth. And in the huge growth usually means better and bigger things. So recognizing that energy, having the awareness of that is one of the biggest things in shifting yourself. Awareness is the key. So, recognizing this duality within us can be tricky, but may also help to bring some ease as we navigate any changing or unsettling energies that flow our way. So it is there is in everything there is this energy of, what I want and where I currently am, and in getting out of the vibration creates this resistance, and having the awareness to move through it and know that it's always going to feel like this uncomfortable resistance and scared of change and fear to make that leap, but knowing that when you make that leap is where you get to the payoff. So moving through that, growing into the fear, is where you're going to grow into your biggest potential. How can we let go of the labels and stories we were telling ourselves and look at things through a new lens? With Neptune involved in this June eclipse and Mercury still in retrograde, we may find ourselves coming face to face with some new information or even mental processes that may feel overwhelming or confusing. That's just a perspective, though. Just keep aware that there's all these different things happening, but that won't be forever. Even though this new moon eclipse promises new beginnings and is fertile time to plant seeds, it calls for us to move slowly and to trust in our intuition. If something feels off, listen. Listen to that voice. No matter what anybody else says, listen to the little voice. It never steers you wrong as long as you're listening to the intuition and not coming from up here in the mind. In fact, a good reminder under this eclipse energy is to not believe everything you think or hear, especially in your mind. We love to create stories. We love to create stories that aren't even necessarily the true reality. It's um, it's this thing that we love to do. Um, Tell stories. It's such a ingrained thing, like, oh, someone's not talking to me, it must be this, when in reality the reality, stick to the facts, is they were busy, and we automatically, our wounds come out and we start projecting and we start experiencing things on a different level. So trying to clear that stuff. We are walking on new ground now, and we need to get our bearings before we can confidently move ahead. So don't be afraid to pause and wait till you feel clearer. So just let these energies settle. This is a time to be planting. This is a time to be feeling into what it is that you want. You definitely want to be sure of what it is, but you don't want to be, blazing off when you're feeling unsettled. So you want to be really sure about the times of when to move forward and when to just be and plant and do. Our intuition will be our guide. So if things feel mentally foggy, or if you feel like you're being manipulated by someone, be sure to drop in and trust the wisdom of your inner guidance and soul. So don't be letting other people create your reality right now. You really want to be tuning into yourself. Don't let outer circumstances, whatever's happening outside of you, be it as tough as it is, it be what creates your reality, because you are the one that decides how things are going to be. So if you choose that something is awful and is terrible, you're going to create more of that. It is okay to honor things when you're going through trauma, when you're going through a hard experience. It's not okay to just stuff those emotions inside and just be like, everything's great. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can feel something without accepting it and making it create your entire reality. You don't have to accept that you're stuck. You don't have to accept that everything is not going to work out for you. You can accept that, yes, right now in this moment I'm feeling, a lot of resistance. In this moment I'm feeling stuck. In this moment, but you don't need to take that word stuck and pull it inside and let it just be who you are. You can acknowledge and release without accepting and manifesting. Along with Neptune and Mercury both being active at this eclipse, so too is Saturn. Saturn is also currently in retrograde, which we've done a video on that, and may stir things from our past that need to be looked at once more. So lots of different things being shaken, lots of trees, lots of things falling out of the trees, but it's for a good reason. We don't need rotten fruit up in our trees when we're trying to blossom new things. This is not about going back to ruminate on our past. Rather, it is about acknowledging what have I learned. So don't stew, don't go too much into it. Just understand if something's coming to the forefront, it's to give you a different awareness. We are moving into new territory under this eclipse, but the wisdom of our past can be a faithful guide. While the eclipse is likely to trigger our past memories differently, it may also help to look back into events that took place during May and November of 2020. So, what happened during May, and November of 2020? Think about it, maybe write it down just to see, because this is how we can forecast how these energies really truly did work for us. I know for Sherry and I, that was both November was a really, really big moment for both of us in our paths for growth. Or if you can think that far back to December, does anything stand out in these periods? This June eclipse is connected to these past dates and may provide some clues as to what this energy may be activating in your life. Remember, it's not that the same events are likely to take place, it is more that you will be leveling up or perhaps reaching a new state of growth on your journey or evolution, which is very exciting. We want to grow from experiences, we want to learn from them, we want to put them behind and move forward. Eclipses have long been used as a tool of prediction. And part of this process involves looking to see where on the nodal axis the eclipse falls. This June solar eclipse is a north node eclipse, which signifies an opening to a new chapter of our collective destiny. On a global level, the collective choices we made around this time of this eclipse are dictating our collective future. This is also the last eclipse we will experience in Gemini until 2029. So whatever is planned now will create a ripple into this time. So lots of big things happening on a collective level, but on a personal level, it falling on a north node is very exciting because our south node is, what we bring into this life and what we don't necessarily need anymore, what we want to move away from. And our north node is what we haven't experienced yet, but what is for our highest and best interest and what we want to move into. That's what our purpose is in this life, is to start encompassing this energy. So we have that following with the energies of this eclipse. What type of planet do we want to live on? What type of society do we want to create? This is also internal. What kind of life do we want to live? What kind of life do we want to create? How do I find that out? How do you find that out? Can you elaborate on that, Sherry? While we cannot control what others do, we can take the power into our own hands by being mindful of our own thoughts, actions, and choices. Know the actions of our initiations taken around the solar eclipse have an added weight and can create the fabric of our collective future for years to come. So, Sherry, I'm using you as an example just because we've been talking and doing some really big things lately. Think about how exciting this is, because what's happening right now is going to have a lot to do with your future. So, very, very powerful things happening right now with you. Deciding to start over was a huge synchronistic energy for what was coming, where the solar eclipse is showing up in our chart. So you you want to push, you want to go to astrodientis. I can't say that word. Somebody help me say that. I don't know why I say it wrong every single time. So you want to click show your chart, your extended version, because that's I want you guys to be able to see Chiron and stuff. And then click the blue button that says with transits. And it's going to show you where the moon is, where the sun is, all of that kind of stuff. The green ones on the outside of your chart are what is transiting. So that's where you'll see. Excuse me, my throat chakra is being silly right now. Use the energy of the eclipse to focus on the things that you want rather than the things you don't want. Be mindful about where your thoughts are and how they are making you feel. This is a huge part of manifestation. You want to get emotionally involved with what it is that you want. Don't focus on what it is that you don't want, that's happening that you don't want, that you're creating. Stop focusing on that. That is such a habit for us as a society to be going, well, this is what's happening and I don't want it. And I don't really like this and I don't there is no benefit to focusing on that. There is nothing. If you want to take a blameless autopsy and just see, maybe some things you can tweak, that's completely different. But getting into that energy is going to create more of that. I don't have a car. I don't have the right job. I don't have money flowing everywhere. I don't. Any of that stuff is just focusing and getting emotionally involved. And you get emotionally involved when you talk about it. When you talk about something with someone else, it's a complete waste of energy to keep repeating what is happening in your life. And I know I sound really tough about that, but if there's one thing I can say, the more you focus on something and the more you get emotionally involved, and you are emotionally involved when you repeat it to somebody else, you are emotionally involved with it, the more you're going to create it in your reality. It doesn't mean you need to ignore it, but I'm talking about when you bring it inside your heart chakra, when it becomes something that upsets you, when it is something that is this undercurrent of energy, then you are emotionally involved. This doesn't mean when that we have to fake positive. Exactly what I'm saying right now. I just get too excited to read my post. But being aware of how you are allowing your thoughts to lead you can be powerful. Are you leading from a place of love or are you leading from a place of fear? And this happens so easily. Our paradigms are so sneaky. They're so sneaky. They come in excuses. If you're saying the word I can't, it's a paradigm. If you're saying I don't, it's a paradigm. They're so sneaky and they feel so real. Like, I really can't. Okay, but the reality is you can. That is your paradigm, keeping you exactly where you're meant to be, what it thinks you're meant to be. Your subconscious mind really truly thinks, just like if you were underwater, you physically can't take a breath in. You can't. Your body and your subconscious mind, oh, like it is so strong, it will not physically let you take a breath. Even if your lungs feel like they're exploding when you're drowning, you cannot take a breath physically until you pass out and your mind is no longer running. That's when you drown. And I don't mean to be negative. I want to show how powerful your subconscious mind is. So it doesn't let you. So when you're stuck in a paradigm and you keep feeding these emotional pieces to it, even if it's just a moment of like, well, I can't buy that because I don't have enough money and I can't do this. Each time you give a piece to it, you are reinforcing that strength, and that paradigm is going to keep you where you are no matter what you do. You can do your gratitude all you want. It'll help you break for time frames out of your paradigm, but as long as that paradigm is there and you're not shifting it, and you are getting emotionally involved with the negative, you are going to stay there. It is going to take you and it's going to pull you right back in, because it feels just like when you're underwater that this is where safe is. So anytime you fall out of it, it goes, excuse me, get back here, and it tells you to stay there. So this June solar eclipse brings the end to eclipse season, emotional season. I guess. Well, that's funny that that came out of my mouth. But let's use this energy to its full advantage. Eclipses thin the veil and allow us to access our intuition with greater ease. They provide us with guidance and an opportunity to take a leap into higher state of being. So very, very exciting. Don't force things or push things way forward under this energy. Coming from a place of gratitude helps tremendously. Yes, I'm not saying that coming from gratitude is a bad thing, but don't think that coming from gratitude is going to be the only thing that shifts your life. If it's something that you're interested in and you want help shifting out of those things that are literally, you keep manifesting something and then it just drags you right back in and you're frustrated and you're stuck in that cycle, I can help you out of that for sure. The universe always says your wish is my command. Exactly, Malia. So don't force or push your way forward under this energy, nor should you ever force or push. That is the wrong energy. When you get into flow with the universe, it is with grace and ease, and it feels like like good. It feels good to your soul. So that's the energy you want to get in. And I know when we don't know the different steps that it can feel frustrating because you just want it so bad. You want, but wanting is not the only thing that's going to get you to where you need to go. Shifting that paradigm is absolutely paramount to changing your life. Allow yourself to be shown the way, allow the breadcrumbs to appear, and then see where they lead you. But make sure that you make the choice to jump when the universe is giving you later down in a little bit here, when the universe gives you an opportunity and you align and you're pulled towards, somebody offering something to help change your life, and you feel you resonate with it and you feel it in your whole soul. Say yes, and don't let that paradigm go, it's not safe. You just go, excuse me. Nope, I'm doing this. Eclipse's energies are so powerful, so surrender to what comes and trust that this June Gemini new moon solar eclipse will set you up for where you need to be heading. So very, very exciting. Let's look at some people's charts here and have a look as to where this new moon solar eclipse is hitting. So Miss Sherry, let me look at your chart. Sherry. Okay. So in your 11th house, let's have a look. There's way more to doing this, but this is how I like to have a look at the very fundamentals of how this energy is affecting you. There is all different places you can go to forecast, to understand how this is hitting you. I'm not quite there. I like to stick to the fundamentals in interpreting until I understand how to bring another level. That's how I'm learning astrology. So that's where I am. So 11th house, excuse me with that. 11th house rules your friends, groups, charity, hopes, and dreams. Wow, Sherry. This is such a synchronous. This is your time. This is literally your time. This is your time to break out. The sign on the cusp of the planet in the house show the kind of friends you're attracted to, the qualities you want in your relationship, and how you are as a friend. Any groups or organizations you belong to fall under the 11th house. Charity also falls here, mostly organizations as opposed to one person. So maybe even our mission 143 could be something to do with your purpose, with not necessarily your purpose. I don't want to say that with this energy. This could be something that grows and moves forward. It could be something that becomes very much your baby. We'll just see how it manifests for you. Though helping others seems to be more of in a distant way. What your hopes and dreams are for your life and future and how you treat them are all in the seventh house matters. This house is opposite the fifth house and therefore on the axis with it, and both houses are social houses. So very, very exciting, Sherry. Um, I think it's showing my sun and moon in Pisces. Sun and moon. No, it's Gemini. Your sun and your moon is Gemini. The transiting is Gemini right now, and it's in your 11th house. That's what you want to be looking at, is where is the moon falling in your house. All right, 20. Let's have a look. 11th house, Sherry. This is very powerful. Miss Mary. And remember, I'm still an astrology newbie. I know I sound like I know everything, but I'm still very fundamentals. It's going to take me another 10 years to get to the point where I can start forecasting properly and understand all the different charts and all that kind of stuff. So Miss Mary is in the 9th house. 9th house. The 9th house rules higher education, philosophical pursuits, long distance travel, and the law. Higher education refers to the secondary education like college. The house shows what kind of philosophies you subscribe to. Travel that's far from home falls here. Any legal dealings are the ninth house matters. The ninth house also is also a house of communication. So I feel like the course that you're taking right now with me is going to be something that moves you forward in really big ways, and this energy kind of shows that you're moving in the right direction. I knew you were going to call on me right when I went to get my iPad. You're funny. I love it. So let's look at Malia because she graced me so nicely with her chart. And she can kind of confirm with me because she does astrology as well, and everybody understands that it's such a complicated thing that, as you're learning, you're not perfect. So I got to do Jessica. I still have lots of time, actually. I'm really impressed with how much time I have. Usually I blah blah and then I run out of time. Okay, Malia, I would say sixth house for you. You can confirm that. I know there are other ways to interpret this, but this is how I do it. So, sixth house rules your health, routine, work environment, and pets. The health ailments you are most prone to and the way that you approach your health are found on the cusp, and planets within your house, your everyday habits, and also ruled by your house. So, I feel like maybe you're starting to look at structures in your life, how things are working out. I think you're probably asking lots of questions, and that's good. Um, Governs your work environment and what you're most, so you're probably, even with work, you're starting to look at structures and what's working best for you, asking all kinds of questions. I think that's a really good thing. Let's look at Jessica's. I know she's going to watch the replay. Jessica, there's, oh, no, no, no. Where are you? There you are. Jessica, when you're watching this, you are the sixth house as well. So I mean, look at the timing for this. What's coming up for you health wise, the resistance, the frustration. This is, very synchronistic. It doesn't mean that's going to happen forever. It just has you reevaluating maybe some processes that you have, even health wise, excuse me, um, that are needing to be, let go of. And I asked you the other night, I said, is there anything that you're avoiding? Because the first thing intuitively that comes to mind is you're avoiding either grief or you're avoiding something that is, bubbling up to the forefront. And that's why there's this need to be active and keep moving and avoiding, not in a negative way, but it's just an unconscious thing that happens. And then it starts manifesting within the body. That's where I'm feeling this energy. And this is a great opportunity for you to plant seeds of doing something differently. And that's exactly what you're doing. So you're very in alignment. Excuse me. Okay. Who else are we going to look at? Let's look at Dee Maria's, just because she's got so much going on right now. Man, she's all kinds of stuff. So, Miss Dee Maria, you are in the ninth house also. So ninth house rules higher education, philosophical pursuits, long distance travel, and the law. So the law could be even with what you're dealing with personally right now. Higher education refers to your secondary education, like college. This house shows what kind of philosophies you subscribe to, travel, long distance dealings. Um, the ninth house also is also a house of communication along with the third house. Is there a possibility maybe that you were asking, hi Kathy, I'll do your chart here in a sec. Dee Maria, is there a possibility that maybe a while back you were wanting to manifest a long-term move? And maybe this is starting to come to fruition. It feels really negative and traumatic and stressful right now, but maybe this is some energy coming to fruition that you just maybe had even forgotten about. I was looking at your chart actually on here, Sherry. So Kathy. Where are you, Kathy? I know you're down at the bottom. There you are. All right. Where your moon at? Your moon is in the ninth as well. So lots of ninth house, lots of I think it's learning. A lot of people are really aligning with what it is that they need to be learning in their life right now, in order to move forward and manifest the things that they want. So very much in alignment with where you're meant to be. Learning and growing is exactly what you want to break out of these cycles that life has you in. So some really powerful energy there for a lot of people. Excuse me. Let's have a look at who else. Who else? Let's look at Tamara. My throat chakra. Tamara is in the sixth house. So again, health and routine, work environment. So I feel like Tamara, you're very much in alignment with shifting, what the processes of what's happening with your work. You're planting seeds. You don't have to go into full speed ahead, but really having a look at what is going to be good for you in the long run. Um, what else? Who else? Who's here? I'm gonna stop in a few minutes here because then I have a few minutes before my next session. Yes, the green on the outside are the transits. That's where the planets are connecting to where your planets were um, the, the moment you were born. Also, I have a question, if I may. I am noticing on this chart it shows Venus in Cancer at 0 degrees in the 11th house. However, in Shannon's chart, it shows in the 12th house. Am I both of the houses due to the 0? Let me have a look. We're probably using different house prospects. So I use one that's more, Shannon uses equal house values because she's trying to teach people. So equal house values, what you won't see one house that's, super big in the pie and then super small. And it's like harder to read because you have the zodiac halfway in and halfway out of the others. She's not teaching people that way because it gets way more confusing to show people. I'm doing it my way because I know that it's more accurate. Shannon definitely knows how to read the charts this way. She's probably just got her own process in order to make things easier for people to learn. So let's have a look at Sherry. It's called Placidius, the way that I do it. And you'll notice, Sherry, when you look at it, if you followed my directions, that some of your houses will fall in the first and the second, like your first house and your second house both fall in Leo, partly in Leo. So you've got a bit mix of energies there, and you'll also notice that some of your houses, like your seventh house, is way smaller than say your 10th house, just because it's more accurate time wise. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You might as well have asked it on the live because it helps other people as well. Um, Tamara. I did Tamara, so let's have a look at somebody else's. Sorry, Sherry, I just decided to do that live. I might as well have because it's easier to address that way. Um, who else normally comes on? Jessica, I already did. I did Mary. I did pretty much everybody. I'm gonna do Tracy's just to see what's happening with Tracy. Okay, so Tracy's is the 10th. 10th house, Pixie. I already know this, but I'm going to read it out anyways. I like doing that. 10th house rules your career, social status, authority figures, and life paths. What kind of career you do best in can be found on the sign and the cusp. The planets within the house, along with the second and sixth houses, is one of the career houses and shows what professions a person would be best at. Your social status and rank also falls under the 10th house. You know, you need to be, and how you need to be ranked. It should come as no surprise. In this house, it rules politicians, authority figures, those above you that you must answer to and look up to fall here, like bosses. The house on the axis with the force is also called the medium coli, MC for short, or more usually the midhaven. Both houses rule your parents, with one house ruling one parent and the other house ruling the other. So this would be the paternal, so father side. So what's happening right now is very, very much, both are spiritual in nature. So this is very karmic, and not karmic in a negative way. Karmic and is just like what happened with my mom. Oh yeah, Harley, thank you. I'll do Harley next. Um, it's very karmic in nature. In I think that life gave you this moment as emotional impact, which is, other than repetition, one of the only ways that you can change your paradigm. So I think that this is happening to shift you so that you can take off and do the things that you were meant to be here to do. So very powerful alignments right now for you. I know that you're I know that grieving is a very tough thing. It's not an easy thing to move forward. So that's where this grace and ease and allowing and just planting the seeds of seeing, allowing this to make you question life, allowing this to make you realign and shift and give you the fuel that you need. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat chakra right now. Mary, can you send me some energy? Holy. Harley, let's do Harley. Thank you, Malia, for reminding me that. Miss Harley, we love us some Harley. Doesn't she do like fantastic card readings? Those of you that are in the mentorship, you get them on Thursdays, so you get Wednesday and Thursday with Harley. But for those of you that are on the Mind Body Soul Healings page here, you get Wednesdays with Harley, and Harley does a lot of intuitive forecasting for the week. She's very, very powerful. She's so new to spirituality, but she's blossomed so much in the last while. It's amazing and incredible for me to watch her do these every week because she's just getting so powerful in knowing intuitively what she needs to bring forward each week. So much so that I hired her for my private mentorship so that people get their own specific forecast for the week. So she's so amazing. It's such a gift that you guys get to have her every week. So tune in on Wednesdays for Harley for sure. Let's see where these energies are hitting her. So 11th house, so same as Sherry. 11th house rules your friends, groups, charity, and hopes and dreams. So you're probably doing a lot of questioning. That's an exact alignment, Harley. This is a huge turning point for you. I'll have to look further into your chart, both you and Sherry, but this indicates to me that you're planting seeds that are really going to um, further your life, and you know that a lot of things are coming to fruition right now for you because you've had faith, you've planted those seeds, you've just been watering them quietly. You haven't been, getting frustrated. I'm sure there has been frustration, but you don't stew in it. I do know that about you, and I feel like this is such a blossoming for you. I just caught her first one for me last week, and I love her synchronistic alchemy. Yes, she's very, very good. She's gotten really into herself. At first, she was really scared to do it because she thought I wanted to control how she did her readings. And I said, no, I want nothing to do other than you do Wednesdays. Wednesdays is all about you. You offer what you offer. She has jewelry. She does some amazing things. She actually did a Tree of Life chakra necklace. For those of you that are wanting to do chakra stuff, you can either get a hold of Mary or Harley. They're both amazing. They do some really powerful stuff, and you can be wearing it, getting the energy from that. But Harley, let's get back into it. So I think that you've been planting those seeds and really coming into where your life is meant to be. And I feel like you're so intuitive, you probably already feel this and know this. Any groups or organizations you belong to fall under the 11th house. And one of your organizations is Mind, Body, Soul Healings, right? You've become part of the organization with me. Wednesdays with Harley is something that is Mind, Body, Soul Healings. It is now something that's part of my mentorship. Moving forward, you will be part of, anything that goes on. So this is part of your organization. And I feel like as I grow and you grow, this is very synchronistic. Um, what else for the 11th house? Charity falls under here. Um, Mostly organizations opposed to, so anything charity wise that you're getting into could be a very good thing. What your hopes and dreams are for your life and future. So Harley, I know that you are able to access the stuff in the mentorship. It is one of the perks of doing these events that you have done, Wednesdays with Harley, for so long. You've just gifted that to Mind, Body, Soul Healing. So, my gift to you is part of the mentorship as you want to go at your own pace. I would have a look at the new exercise that we just launched that I put in just yesterday for dreams and desires. Go over that one. If you don't have a computer to print off, that's fine. You can still see it on your phone and just use pen and paper and just go through it because this is a really good time for you. Okay, cleared your throat chakra. I actually feel different. I'm not like phlegmy and coffee. Thank you so much, Mary. Really appreciate that. I really needed that. With selenite wand, and if you clear your own throat, drink some water. Okay, I'll drink some water now. Thank you. Yes, I feel like you can actually hear it in my voice too. Much better. Thank you very much. You're so magical. So I'm going to end now. I don't think that I missed anybody. Malia, thank you for reminding me about Harley. Anybody else, if you're interested, you can just reach out to me. I'm not saying that I have enough time to do it for free or anything like that. But if you want to book a one-on-one with me and it's something that we do in exchange for, absolutely. Um, I'm 100% about that. If you are feeling a call, I am still open for mentorships right now. It's still so early on that if you are feeling like you want to shift that paradigm, like I was talking about before, I can help you. I have a very powerful process, like a spiritual formula that I've created that helps people in knowing what paradigm, what's deep seated in there from astrology to help you shift. I can really help you get in with all these different tools. And that's what I created this mentorship to do. It transforms you on all levels so that you are able to connect, you are able to communicate, you are free to manifest. The money is starting to flow in because we energetically shift you. It is transformational. That's why I called it Phoenix Transformations. Is you start from the bottom and you rise up with this mentorship. So if it's something that you're interested in and you've been feeling really frustrated in life, the timing right now with this solar eclipse is so powerful to be jumping in on this. So book a discovery call with me. I'll get the link right now so that you guys have the opportunity because this is very powerful. You can drastically change your life if you're willing to put in the effort for it. I can only do so much on my end unless you're willing to put in the time and effort and get uncomfortable with yourself. So if you're feeling ready for that and you are being called to a process to shift and change, all you got to do is say yes. And you can even talk to Miss Mary about that. All you have to do is make a decision, and the rest all falls into place for you. You don't have to be scared about amounts. You don't have to second guess anything. If you just make a decision and you have faith with the alignment that the universe brought you to me, because the universe does bring people to me that I can help you. I can help you shift. I can help you drastically change your life and your experiences into something that is lasting and it does not go back to what you experience on a cycle basis based on your paradigm. I can change that thermostat so that you're out here, so that your experiences are vast and you can start manifesting that life that you want. So here's the link. And then I'm going to close out because I've only got 10 minutes and then I've got my next appointment. So there you go. That's my booking link in order for you to book in a discovery session. I also have an astrology one in there. I don't think I have a price on it at this moment, but we can discuss if you want to go further into your chart if you're not part of the mentorship. Um, I will have a look into your chart. But that takes me some time, so we will figure out what the exchange is for that. So stay tuned. What do I have next? Oh, so on Sunday, I am doing an event called Dissolving Fear. So let's get into the timing for that is pretty amazing. So helping people move through fear in order to do things that they really want to do. So all of these blocks, all of these perceived limitations are just that. They're the paradigm. So helping you understand the small processes of moving through fear in order to break out of that cycle, to say yes to yourself. So thank you for joining me. I love doing astrology. Every time I do it, it helps me learn. Have a wonderful solar eclipse. Definitely, if you've been following me with the new moons, now is the time to be doing your rituals. So you want to be writing down what it is that you want to manifest. So get into detail. Go into the areas that I just did in your charts. If I didn't do your chart, then go into astrology.com, click on your extended chart, click on with transits, excuse me, look at where the moon is falling in your what house, look up the house, and then that's going to give you the idea of where you want to start doing your manifestation rituals. So I want to be on that event. Yes, it's going to be a very powerful event, but definitely get into your ritual right now. So writing it down, really giving it some energy. Those of you that did the prosperity corner, that have that active, you're going to want to write your intentions and put it underneath your prosperity basket, jar, whatever it is that you created with your intentions and your affirmations and your money and all your trinkets to help with manifestation and the feng shui and everything. Put that underneath. Just keep putting it underneath, and then with the full moon, you want to this is a new moon. Yes. You want, with the full moon coming up, then you're going to want to get rid of things. So this is a very synchronistic energy right now. Lots of things going on with the Schumann. The Schumann's been spiking like crazy too. So if you're feeling resistance there, all kinds of energy things. If you want more forecasts about energy, you can get into the Mind, Body, Soul Healings, Phoenix Transformations free complimentary group that I have. I do a lot of Schumann resonance and other inspirational guidance there. So hop on in there. I think it's linked to the page here. So have a great day, you guys. I'm going to grab something quickly to eat before I meet with the amazing Kathy Kelly. I'll see you soon, Kathy. Bye, guys.